Hi guys, my name is Kennedy Engasser and I am now the CEO of Magic Wand Creations, which is a literary and performing arts production company based in Tampa, Florida. I wanted to make this video just to give you guys a little bit more of some background on who I am, on what I'm doing, what my purpose is, and what I'm hoping to establish with this corporation. So I am an artist at heart. I've always been an artist, mostly a writer. Anything that has to do with writing I absolutely love, but honestly anything that has to do with any sort of performance art I am all over. I love all spoken word poetry, I love all page poetry, I love anything that has to do with theater. I'm an actress, a playwright, a director, you name it. If it has to do with theater or writing, I have probably done it at some point in my life. And I've always known my whole life that I've really wanted to make a career out of my art and the things that I do, and I've worked towards doing that. I've worked professionally for the past 6 years. I started working professionally in spoken word poetry when I was 14. I'm 20 years old now. I have written, directed, and produced 4 of my own shows, theater shows at real theaters, which have sold out. So I have been working professionally in the industry, and I've just gotten to a point where I wanted to really hone in and figure out what I wanted to do with my art and my craft and just kind of put it all together, and so here we are. So I'm just going to start by giving you guys a little bit more of a story on myself and kind of my artistic journey. I've been writing for literally as long as I can remember. Like, I was like probably like that big and like writing little like plays about Puffles from Penguin Game. You all know that Penguin Game? The Penguin Game online with the Puffles? What is that game? What is that game called? They have the Puffles? Something Penguin. I don't know what it's called. That's gonna bother me. I'm gonna remember like randomly throughout the rest of this video. They have Puffles. They have pet Puffles. I wrote a story about the Puffles. I had a penguin and the penguin's Puffle got lost. It was a whole thing. I wrote about it. I was really young. That's the point. By the time I was in 7th grade, I took a creative writing class, and my creative writing teacher at the time, Mr. Amy, shout out Mr. Amy, you are the best. Hope you're watching this. Mwah. He took me on a field trip to a workshop that was hosted by a local arts organization called Heard 'Em Say, which is a youth poetry collective. They specialize in teaching young people how to explore their voices through poetry and other forms of art. And honestly, the second I found Heard 'Em Say, the second I started attending open mic events and going to slam poetry competitions and really just speaking out as a poet and using my voice and expressing my art, I knew that this is what I was going to be doing for the rest of my life. I didn't necessarily know if I knew how I was going to make it happen, but I knew that it was what I was going to be doing because I just loved it so much. And so in 8th grade, I competed to get on the Heard 'Em Say slam team to go to Brave New Voices, and I got on, and that summer we went to Las Vegas and competed. Our team actually ended up getting to sacrifice on final stage, which basically means that while we didn't make the final stage competition, we got to perform on final stage before the other people were, kind of like the opener at a concert sort of situation. And there was a video of that was posted on YouTube, which went viral on TikTok, and I was just so obsessed with all of it. I was so in love with it, like everything from the environment, from the other poets, just everything about it. It was such a phenomenal experience that, you know, my words got me there, and I can't even think of the words to describe it because it was just that beautiful and that phenomenal. And you know, I realized that was what I wanted to take with me for the rest of my entire life, and my idea was that I was going to, you know, keep trying to go to Brave New Voices every year. I was 14, I was very ambitious and very naive. And I was wanting to get on a slam team every single year, and then I was like, when I'm 18, I'm gonna go to all the adult slams and totally beat everyone and just win it all. And then COVID happened my freshman year of high school, and everything shut down. It really took some of the bigger poetry festivals to get back up on their feet after COVID, and you know, I was younger. I was in freshman year at the time, and I missed it so much. I started doing theater because, you know, that's a different kind of performance, and I loved it just as much. And I loved performing. I love playing characters. I love doing theater so much. But I think what I miss when I only do theater and not do anything else is that aspect of me and my story and my words and my writing, not just my twist and my interpretation of someone else's words. Sometimes I just really feel like I need it to come from me, and I need it to be my own words and my own script. So I thought, what better else than playwriting? And that's how I got into that. So my junior year of high school, COVID was starting to die down. We were able to, everyone was back in person at school again, but a lot of the events were still kind of not to the same degree that they used to be before. Like, we were still doing events, but maybe a lot of the procedures were different, or, you know, we can't invite guests. You know, it was that kind of time. It was 2022, so you all know what the world was like back in 2022. And because of the craziness, because of the flexibility of everything, my high school teacher decided that it would be fun my junior year if we did kind of like a competition where she allowed multiple people to direct multiple different one acts, and then they decided which one act was going to go to competition. So of course I decided that I was going to write my own one act, direct it, and enter it to go to competition. Now my one act was unfortunately not the one that year that was chosen to go to competition, but we did do a showcase, a public showcase, and the audience came and everyone loved it. And just hearing the laughs of the audience and watching my friends on stage performing my work was so, again, just like that same experience that I had back in Las Vegas, where it was just something that I can't describe and that I really just wanted to have more of. And I knew that I wasn't going to be able to take that piece to competition, so I was thinking, okay, how can I get more of this? Where can I do my work? How can I get other people to see more shows that I'm doing? So long story short, at one of the feature events that I was doing, I was just reading a few poems and entertaining a group of people, and one of the organizers of that event was talking to me after the event and was kind of asking me about what I like to do, what my plans are, and I mentioned to her how I wanted to produce my own shows, but I just didn't know how to do that. And she actually got me in contact with the studio at 620 in St. Pete, who is amazing place. I absolutely recommend checking them out. The work that they do there is absolutely incredible. I've been working with them for 3 years and I have nothing but good things to say about every single event that they've ever done. Go check out the studio 620 in St. Pete. So basically I contacted that theater and I was like, hey, I have shows and I want to direct them. Can I do them here? And they were like, okay. And so I did that. I wrote 3 more one acts. I had the one that I did for school that year, and then I wrote 3 more, 3 comedies and 1 drama, and I asked my friends in high school to act in them. I asked my friends in high school to stage manage, and we live in Florida all summer from like 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. We were like every day of the week we were out at a park, just at a public park, just rehearsing these scripts over and over and over again, because the place was in St. Pete. We live in Tampa. That's like an hour commute, and we, you know, couldn't drive that far. A lot of the people that were acting in it couldn't even drive at the time. Their parents had to drop them off, but we were all just so dedicated and so committed to making these shows happen, and we did it. We practiced all summer, we pulled it off somehow, and then at the end we did the show, and both nights, we did 2 nights, totally sold out. We sold 75 tickets and they both completely sold out. I was just flabbergasted. I was in awe. I was so proud of myself and my team and what we did with our creativity. Like, it was just so insane to me, because those shows were just thoughts in my head that past year, and then they were something that was actually in front of me on stage. There's videos of those shows and you can literally hear me crying in the background because I'm just so like happy. So the shows were great. The first night of one acts, huge success. The studio invited me back for more shows. I produced 2 more one acts, just as a one act each summer. The next summer I did a night of one acts. The summer after I did a night of one acts. I also did at the end of my senior year, I did a full-length play titled In the Winter, which was so much fun. I loved that one. So that's a little bit of my background. Unfortunately, this past year I've had to take just a little bit of a break from all of my producing and writing and directing and all that craziness. I've acted in a few shows here and there, but I've had to take it kind of slow this past year. I've just been dealing with a lot of stuff in my personal life that I've had to, you know, sort together, but I'm back now and I'm ready to get back into the artistic world and, you know, get back on my Instagram, back on my TikTok, back on my Facebook. So if you're seeing me post again and you've not seen me post in like a year and you're like, what the heck is Kennedy up to? This is it. This is what I'm up to. I'm starting a company. I'm starting a production company. So that's cool. So another element to this is I'm about to graduate this upcoming year, and I was really starting to ask myself questions with what do I want to do with my degree. I've studied theater, I've studied writing, I've studied production and directing, and I've had so much experience doing all of these things, and I have a really good portfolio and a resume that I've built up over the past 6 years, and now I just need to do something with it. And I didn't know what exactly I wanted to do with it. I wasn't sure, you know, if I just wanted to move to New York and start auditioning for plays, but really I know that's not 100% what I want to do, because even though I love doing plays and would absolutely love to do a play in New York, I'm not saying that I wouldn't. Please, you know, if there's any big directors that are watching this, you want me and I want you, like, let's make this happen. But at the same time, I am also really committed to my writing and the poetry aspect of and all that too. So I was just kind of asking myself, okay, well, what can I do in my current position, where I am in this life that's not New York City or LA, to further my specific goals. The thing that I landed on was this, opening up an LLC. I decided that I really want to have one centralized website where you can find everything. The purpose of the website, Magic Wand Creations, you can book me as a poet, you can book me as an actress, you can book me as a director or as a freelance writer. Any service that you need that has to do with theater or creative writing that you need assistance with, you can reach out to me with Magic Wand Productions, and I will get back in touch with you and we will make whatever you feel like you want to happen. We can create it together. Also on magicwandcreations.net, you can find my shop, which will have all of these scripts that I have ever wrote. All 12 one-act plays that have ever been produced will be for sale on the website, as well as my brand new poetry book called Words That Are Not to Be Expanded Upon. It's a collection of shorter poems that I wrote when I just wasn't making those 2-3 minute long spoken word poems, and I just still felt like I had things to say. In the future, I'm going to come up with new ways to sell the script, so I'm going to have new cover designs, including some photo cover options with some of the original cast. I'm just reaching out to some of them and getting everyone's consent to make sure the pictures are okay to use. And so that's something that you guys will be able to look forward to. I'm also hoping to get some poem posters in, so just some haikus and one-line, two-liners, page-length poems that will be available in poster form, so that's something to look forward to as well. And as the company grows, you will just see an overall increase in merchandise like keychains, mugs, and t-shirts, you know, all of those different things. I'm just hoping to share my creative world with you guys and create little knickknacks and trinkets to keep and remind us of all of them. I think that's always fun. At the end of the day, Magic Wand Creations is a production company, so our main goal is to produce events and productions that are centered around arts and creativity. So I'm hoping to produce more plays that I have written, directed, and produced myself, also plays that other people have written. I want to, you know, really encourage growth in the community, the artistic community. You know, I need lots of help to put things together, so please feel free to reach out if you're interested in working with me at some point, being a director, an actor, a writer, whatever it is. Please reach out, join my email list, send me a message on Instagram, send me a message on Facebook, send me a message on my email, send me a message through the website. There's so many great ways to contact me and so many great, amazing projects just waiting for us to work on together, and I'm so excited. And I honestly think at the end of the day that this is what I know that I've always wanted to do with my life, my whole life. I've always known that I just want to create art and create a safe space for everyone to create art and to share their stories, and I really hope that that's what this is and that's what this continues to be. And I think that in the past, the only thing actually stopping me from, you know, filling out the form to open up an LLC and setting up a camera on my desk to introduce it to everyone and setting up the website was just fear, you know, fear of my own self-judgment, fear of other people's judgment, fear of failure, fear of all those things. But I think I don't want to live my life in fear anymore. I think that we're in a time, especially right now in the current state of the world, I think that art is important, and I think that sharing your voice is important, and I think that doing the thing that feels really scary, setting up the camera and talking to the camera like it's a person, it's scary, but I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna keep doing it, and I'm gonna hope that it turns out really good. I have good thoughts about it. I think it's gonna turn out really well, and I know that I have such an amazing, incredible community of artists and friends that are supporting me. I just launched my website yesterday, and the goal that I put on my little website was to reach 250 visits in 1 month, and I reached 250 visits the very first day within just 2 hours of opening up my website. So that was all you guys coming and checking out my book and clicking on my stuff and reading about me and looking at my silly little photos and my silly little shop. So I just want to thank you guys so much. I'm super proud of myself, and I'm super thankful to have the ability to do this, to have the freedom to do this, and to have all of your guys' support if you made it to the end. So thank you so much. Go check out my website, and I look forward to doing more productions. See you guys later.